I mean, I don't think that I have the ability to play it. Well,
and it's being recorded. So we'll be uploading the breakout presentation materials and recording this breakout, which will be available for attendees to access after the conference. After the breakout, please click on the button Rate Session to complete a really brief survey. And again, please keep yourself muted. One option is, and we saw some folks were having trouble unmuting themselves to speak. One option is that you can join with computer audio button. You could click on the green or blue join with computer audio button. If you want to mute yourself for some reason and it's not working, try that in the Wova app, in the Wova application, and that should work. So again, that is the housekeeping, and we have great panelists with us, and I'll just share their names, and I'll have each and every one of them do a quick kind of brief introduction, and then I'll turn it to you, Eric, and then I could launch the poll question that we discussed, but I'll stop there this time, and I'll let you all introduce yourself. Eric Anthony, Amy Pimentel, Kate Miller, Erica Olmos, Jennifer Lewis, Elena Chirkova-Sikora, Roxane Garcia Morales. I'll turn it to you, Eric, to if any more formal introductions.
Sure. So thanks everybody for joining us. This is a deep dive discussion for the counselor conference this year, and we have all recorded our presentation earlier for you. So that is available within the Wova app to view. So we are just curious how many of you have been able to check out that video ahead of this session. I think that there should be a poll that you could all take whether or not you have watched it. We're just curious in how to move forward. If you all don't mind taking that poll right now.
Great, it's working.
Cool.
It's always great when the technology works. Can you all see the results? Is popping up online?
Oh, I don't see the results.
It's popping up on mine. So far, 80%. Have you watched the video? 80% says yes, 20% no.
Oh. So a good majority of you already have. That's exciting.
Yes, however, I remember this from statistics. The sample size right now, 5 of 34 have taken the poll. So 14% have voted, so.
Oh, so it's probably all just us who made the video.
I see folks are taking the poll. A few more. It's given one more minute. Great, more folks are taking it actually. Feel free to take in the poll. Feel free to take the poll if you haven't yet. Let me stop my screen share. Oh, okay, I see one person said, okay, I see a few people actually said they don't see the poll. For the folks who can see the poll, let me see if I can just share it as a link. Oh, great. Hi, Monica. Monica created a poll in a Wova app, actually. Perfect. All right, so if you're in the Wova, look, it says Q&A polls. There's a link where it says polls, and you could take it there in the Wova web application. So if you're in the Wova and you said you can't see it, go to where it says chat, and then to the left it says polls, and the poll is there. And it says, did you see the pre-recorded presentation video? Thank you, Monica. Yep, all right, folks are saying they got it. Great. Great. All right, perfect. More people are taking this poll, so that's good.
Does it look like more people have watched the video already?
Actually, no, more people actually have not seen the video. So before it was a smaller sample size of 6, and
Right.
now we have actually, most people have taken it. We have 30, 11 of 15 have not seen it. So the majority have actually not seen it.
Okay.
A smaller amount have, and we have a bigger response. So we have 37 people right now as participants, and including all the presenters. And right now we have 15 people have taken it thus far. Please feel free to take the poll. I'll give it maybe 10 more seconds, but thus far, the majority of folks actually have not seen the video.
Okay, so we could either, let's see, we could either go through, our PowerPoint slides. We can play the video here if that's an option, or we could go into Q&A if people already have an idea of what CTE Transitions is. Any thoughts on that from my fellow panelists?
Should we do another poll?
It ends at 1, so
Yeah.
I'm afraid we won't have time to, for
Yeah.
Q&A.
That's my
So-
fear, is that our presentation is probably like 40 minutes long at least, so we wouldn't have a whole
Yeah.
Q&A.
Do you guys want me to add another poll question? This is Monica.
Oh,
Yes,
Monica in to save the day.
Okay.
Yeah, so then at least we can.
How familiar are you with CTE Transitions?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and if people have some familiarity, then I think maybe we can go into some Q&A. Maybe we can give some updates in our own programs and see if that sparks some questions.
Okay, I just created. Oh, sorry,
Right.
Eric.
No, go for it.
So
Eric, how long would it take you to go through the presentation? Is
So
that
I think I have it ready to go. I mean, I think we can go through our slides pretty quickly. We don't have to do introductions, so we could probably do it in 20 or 30 minutes.
I mean, what if we did that and then Q&A, and people who wished could either review or view for the first time the video if they wanted more information?
great idea.
Okay.
Are y'all able to see that slideshow?
Yes.
Yes.
So we've all had our introductions, and I think most of us are probably from San Diego, so we're aware of the region, but this is how our colleges are divided among San Diego and Imperial counties. If you're curious or wondering who your feeder district is, this is how our boundaries line up. And CTE Transitions is basically articulation and the process of articulating high school courses. We evaluate courses to determine whether coursework completed at the high school will meet the requirements at a community college for the purpose of advanced placement or credit by exam units. We all have different processes, but we all follow best practices among our colleges in how to move forward with the CTE transitions process. Erica, I think this was your slide originally. Do you have anything else to add that I'm missing out on?
I'm sorry, my slide. No, I mean, we'll in a few slides, we'll go ahead and go over the process between the college and the high school district. Some of our districts also work with adult education. So in a couple of slides, we'll go over that process.
Great. Amy, do you want to tell us about the benefits to articulation?
Sure. So benefits for students include an accelerated college degree completion, So they can also save time and money in completing college credits that count towards certificates and degrees, and some courses also count towards transfer. Minimizes course duplication, so they're not having taken the same course twice. Credit is optional, so students can always opt out of an articulated, a class that's articulated. They can say, I don't want the college credit. So that then makes it, a low risk in terms of students' financial aid eligibility later, if they end up, graduating high school with a lot of college credits. In terms of how high schools benefit, we see collaboration between our K-12 and our colleges improve, and where our faculty at the college and high school instructors are becoming more aware of what each other are doing. We've had high school visits come out of this in times where we were allowed to be in person. And it also, for you all at the high school, it is a way for you to reach your CCI measurement, your college and career indicator measurement in terms of students earning college credit.
And there are other methods of early college credit in addition to CTE transitions. Roxane, do you want to tell us about some of these options?
Sure. So in addition to our articulated courses program, we do have different versions of how to earn this college credit while in high school. One of those programs is dual enrollment. The difference between participating in a high school articulated course and being a high school student dual enrollment is that with the articulated course, you have the high school teacher that is facilitating the class, and at the end you have a faculty member who provides the testing. With dual enrollment, the college faculty is at the high school and who is providing the instruction and also making sure that the student meets those college requirements and the competency level to be able to move forward in other courses. So with concurrent enrollment, we have a high school student who is in the high school, but is also taking courses at the college. So while they're earning their high school diploma, they're also working towards their college degree while attending the college. So these are three different versions of that early college credit. It varies among the college in terms of the fee. So for an CTE Transitions, an articulated high school course, the course for the high school student and the textbooks is free. For dual enrollment in certain colleges, it is free. In other college, it might vary. The fee might vary, as well as which type of program. If some students are in an articulated high school course and in a dual enrollment course, there might be different fees associated with that. For the textbooks, the student pays if they're taking a college course at the college. If they're a high school student involved in the CTE Transitions program or the dual enrollment program, commonly it is free. For the articulated high school course, often it is a B or a P pass grade. Some colleges have a C depending on the course. With dual enrollment, the grade that is earned is the grade that's going to be in a transcript. With the articulated course, the student does have the option of opting out if they do not want to receive a grade that doesn't comply with what their goals are. So they're able to do that. And in other colleges, they're able to actually petition for that grade, so it doesn't affect them while they're in college. And in concurrent enrollment, since they are considered a college student at the college, the grade that they earn in that class is the grade that is earned on the transcript.
Great. And credit by exam. Kate, can you tell us what that means and why we keep talking about credit by exam?
Credit by exam is one of the names for articulation. In that, students take an exam at the end of their course that is either provided and usually conducted by a faculty member from the college so that the student can receive their credit. This is to make sure that it is rising to the level of a college course. And it does vary by college.
Exactly. And Kate Ma, we love it, we hate it. we need it. Elena, can you tell us what CATMA is and what we use it for?
It's almost like tango, right? Love and hate together. Well, I'm representing Palomar College, and at Palomar College, we love CATMA and we utilize CATMA to the fullest. However, each college decides how much they use this wonderful system. The system is pretty much a web-based application for database, and it is very secure. The main reasons to create CATMA were to minimize the task that students, teachers, and system staff supposed to do, and it's actually leveled. So each participant has certain level of access. Like for students, it's very basic to just observe and be aware of what's going on with their account. For teachers, it's giving ability to securely put grades in and recommend students for credit. And obviously, for college staff, it is the most high level access where we can monitor, where we can work with those grades and credits and issue those credits so students can see that. Also, it's very secure and accurate because the system built the way where students cannot create secondary accounts, which very common when students create an account for enrolling in the college or anywhere. They tend to forget their passwords and then they create account for the second time, third time, and so on and so forth. In CATMA, you cannot do that. And that's why it's very secure and well worked for staff to work with the system. Also, we would like to mention that it is a very good archive system, and you can look back for any years before. So again, it is a very good database system, but you need to verify with particular college how much they use in CATMA. Some colleges prefer not use CATMA at all, and that's their choice. And again, just always connect with CTE office at the particular college.
Great. I think CATMA is a great tool for those of us who use it to store historical grades, either course or exam grades for high school students. So it's great to always have access to that. And then this slide here represents the process that we use for developing CTE Transitions agreements. Jennifer, can you take us through this process a little bit of agreement development, implementation, and awarding credit?
Absolutely. So before we can really do anything, both institutions, being either the high school or adult school and the college, have to ensure that their curriculum is aligned. Once the community college faculty has said, yes, that is a great course, it directly aligns with my course, then there's an agreement that is issued and signed by both institutions stating that we all agree that the two courses do articulate. After that agreement is signed, and those agreements have different terms at different institutions. At Southwestern, that is a 2-year agreement that is renewed annually, because on either side, the curriculum either at the adult school or high school or at the community college can change. So for us, an annual review is important to make sure that that curriculum continues to be aligned. After the agreement is signed and sealed and executed, we move on to implementation, which is where CATMA comes in to play. We make sure the classes are set up in CATMA, that the grades are awarded in CATMA, that kind of all of the boxes are checked as we go through the semester. And we also, as part of implementation, need to make sure that those high school or adult school students are registered and enrolled in our community colleges. So that's an important step for implementation. Now that the semester's done, you're in adult school or high school and you've received your grade. Some colleges require an exam, some do not. CATMA is the place where all of that data is kept and also shared. The CATMA system is accessible by the high school adult school partner and also the community college partner. So the community college partner now looks into CATMA and transcripts those credit units that are ready to go.
Great. And I think it's important to reiterate, I know we've said this before, all of our processes differ a little bit, but I think we all have a lot of common best practices that we've tried to align here in this presentation. But we're all here, so hopefully you'll have some more specific questions in regards to your district, and we'll be here to answer those for you. But before we get to Q&A, I thought we could just quickly go through the programs, or not just programs, but anything that we want to highlight that's going on at our own campuses. So with that, we'll start with Kate and Cuyamaca.
Hi again. Yes, we have many programs. They're all listed on the slide. We are also going to have a table or booth tomorrow. And for everyone who either becomes a new follower on one of our social contact apps, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter, we are going to have a drawing. And if you visit our table and give us your email, we will also enter you in this drawing for a bag of swag.
Fantastic. Erica, what's going on at Grossmont?
Yeah, so Grossmont and Cuyamaca is under the same college district. So Kate and I work very closely together with our partners at Grossmont Union High School District, and that includes our charter schools as well, and our adult education schools. So we work very closely together with our partners. And we continue to focus on placing articulation agreements to remove any barriers and support student success. We are working collaboratively with high schools and our outreach departments to improve the community college enrollment, especially during these difficult times of COVID-19. We also have a table. So feel free to visit our table with one of our program coordinators that is happy to share all the wonderful programs that both our colleges have to offer to our students. Thank you.
And Roxane, what is going on in Imperial Valley?
At Imperial Valley College, we have been working together collaboratively with the community as well as other programs, educational programs around the county in order to be able to best serve our students, making sure that we are in constant communication with the high schools, especially during this time. And we want to make sure that these students are being able to, we are being able to provide the resources and accommodations that they need to continue their education. One of the changes that we've made to our articulation agreements is being able to provide a C grade as a passing grade for the student to be able to earn college credit in those articulated courses, as well as being able to link them to our Career Services Center. So not only are they continuing in that career education pathway, but they are provided with additional resources for them to be able to obtain a job either while going to school or if their goal is to complete a certificate. In addition to our Career Services Center, we have internships and work placement coordinators and those that are working to make sure that students not only are provided the opportunity to earn the grade in the course, but to have that hands-on skill set that they need to be able to go and find a job. We want to make sure that we are up to date, especially here in the Imperial Valley, when it comes to jobs and job opportunities. So we open that opportunity up to our students to be part of our advisory committees with our employers and those that are looking to fill their quota, they're looking to fill job positions and being able to provide that resource and that opportunity for students to be able to speak to them and ask them questions. And if they feel that that is something that they want to obtain and something that they want to pursue, then we have employers that are actually there for these students to be able to provide them guidance and mentor them as they go through Imperial Valley College. But we want to make sure that we are staying consistent with our students, especially during this inconsistent time. We want to work collaboratively with our high schools and our community schools to make sure that education is something that is still a priority and something that is still obtainable even while we're trying to navigate through uncertainties. And we've worked together along with our administration to provide the constant communication that is needed. So we're doing good.
Great, thank you. And Amy, can you tell us what's happening at Miracosta College?
Yes. So one thing I want to point out, I think we pointed it out in our recording, but I don't know if we did here, is that when you go to submit an articulation request, if you start first with your feeder college, and if they do not have the program that would align with the pathway that you have, we don't have a matching class, you're free to go look at other, contact other colleges. Like there's high schools in our feeder district that have articulation agreements with Palomar, for example. So hopefully, that you'll see by us all presenting together, we're not in competition with one another, even though we have some things that are slightly different, we are all still collaborative. Just so you know, for us, if you're looking to submit an articulation request with Miracosta, our period to submit a request is from December 1st, so yesterday, until March 15th for classes that start in fall 21. And that's an online form. You have my contact information there if you have questions about that. Our agreements are also good for 2 years. And we transcript the exam grade of either an A or a B, but a student does still need to get their A or B in the class. We also have a number of resources available to you. If you have 12 minutes and you want to watch the video for Miracosta College and come to the booth with questions tomorrow, you're welcome to do so. But we have a number of one-page handouts that just let you know about the different programs at Miracosta, the careers they prepare students for, as well as average earnings. These are great to share with your teachers, with your students, with parents, especially as we're still working to kind of break down these myths about career education. We have short, like 2 to 3 minute YouTube videos that you're welcome to, again, share with your students and families, teachers, embed them on your web pages, but that just give brief overview of our programs. You get to see some of our faculty and students. And, hopefully soon we'll be able to start having campus visits again and have students on campus. But if you ever need resources, have questions, please don't hesitate to contact me.
Thanks, Amy. And just to add on to that great point about starting with your feeder district in terms of, requesting a new agreement. One thing that can confuse students and teachers who have CTE transitions agreements in multiple college districts is that even though most of us are all using CAPMA, which is one system, our individual CAPMA accounts aren't linked. So students who have CTE transitions courses at both Palomar and Miracosta have to create a separate account within both of those systems, which I know can be a little confusing. And next we have Palomar College. So Elena, can you tell us what's happening there as soon as my
yes, I would love to.
switches? There we go.
I would like to point out to 3 links that I'm sharing on this slide, and if our participants can grab it from videos or recordings, that would be great. First link will lead you to our career education page at Palomar College, where we featuring our CTE programs, and we have more than 50 CTE programs at the college. However, we have about 20 programs out of those 50 who articulate with high schools and adult schools. And again, you can learn about all those wonderful programs at that particular website. The second link is to CTE Transitions webpage, where you can find all answers to majority of the questions. And I would like to point out that it's also a list of articulated programs in there. As Amy mentioned, if we don't have program that you're interested in or your course not quite aligned, we always work together. We work together with Miracosta College, with San Diego colleges, to make sure that you can get that agreement somewhere else if we're not able to provide. But also, I have a third link for guided pathways at the Palomar College. And I would like to mention that about 2 years ago, we start looking at the situation, as been mentioned again already during previous slide, that we sharing some students. They might start with one college and later on they just moved to a different area and they need to, for whatever reason, switch from one college to another. And we found that it was always a little complicated when you're switching colleges, and if credits not align or programs not align, people take extra classes or have to take extra classes. We're trying to avoid that, and we created Mapper that will help you to find programs that align with other colleges and four-year colleges as well. So the guided pathway page will lead you to the Mapper, and it is working active Mapper at Palomar College. Beside that, I would like to mention that our agreements at Palomar College good for 3 years because the rule for CTE programs to update every 3 years. And for that, we think that most updates happened once in 3 years. So we do agreements for 3 years. However, we monitor them annually, we renew them annually, and every 3 years we resubmit existing agreements if they still want to do that. And we do have some champions who articulate with us more than 10 years now. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly. Here's my contact information on the bottom, and I will be happy to work with you and answer all your questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Elena. So I represent the San Diego Community College District, which consists of City College, Mesa College, Miramar College, and San Diego Continuing Education. Our feeder district is San Diego Unified. So we mostly work on district-to-district agreements when we're working in CTE transitions. We also develop agreements between continuing education and our colleges, so we do articulate adult ed programs. One of the biggest benefits to these CTE transitions agreements, other than providing free college credit for our students, is partnership development. So we really try to focus on matching up our college faculty with our high school partners, particularly the teachers that are teaching these courses involved in the agreement. So if there's any, extra things that we can get out of these agreements, we really like that. Miramar College does a lot of great outreach with San Diego Unified, and Miramar puts on some great programs for the high school students. I know that they have like a Discover Your Drive program, which gives the high school students great insight into like their auto programs. We worked on an ICT middle school conference for students at Mesa College last year. So we brought, I want to say about 150 kids from a few local middle schools onto Mesa and did some great breakout sessions with them. We did some robotic sessions where they learned how to build robots, some game design sessions where they were learning how to create video games, and it was a great experience. We did a campus-wide GIS scavenger hunt, so that was fun to have the students running all over the campus looking for everything, and also gave them a great opportunity to see what's happening on the college campus. And same with City College, they do a great event with San Diego Unified each year called Photo 360, where they're bringing over a lot of photography students onto City College's campus to work with models in terms of photography and design, and it's a real life work experience for them, so it's really exciting. And then, during COVID-19, we've obviously have a lot of hard to convert college classes that are difficult to manage online. We've had a handful of issues here and there with some of the courses in our agreements, but so far, our college partners have been able to mitigate some of those problems, and we've been able to work through all of our agreements. So we're still continuing to honor all of our CTE transitions agreements, which has been great so far. So with that, I will turn over to Jennifer to tell us a little bit about Southwestern.
Great, thanks, Eric. So at Southwestern, we serve the South County of San Diego, and with 4 campuses. Most everybody who thinks of Southwestern thinks of the main campus in Chula Vista. But we also have 3 higher education centers, one in Otay Mesa, one in National City, and one in San Ysidro. Our National City campus and Otay Mesa campus are currently serving students face-to-face with our health programs and public safety programs, being our paramedic, EMT, nursing, dental hygiene, medical lab tech, and medical office staffing. Unfortunately, our main campus does continue to be closed and will be closed through the spring. But with regards to articulations, we have a long-standing agreement with Sweetwater, who's a very large district, in addition to Coronado and a number of charter schools in the South County. We are continuously adding agreements. So at any point in time, if you are with one of our feeder districts, please contact me about exploring articulation for something new. I shared earlier that every 2 years we do renew and annually review our articulation agreements. But with over 60 career education programs at Southwestern, there's great opportunity to explore new articulation agreements. The career education web pages for those programs is on the slide. There is, like I said, a wide variety of programs. At Southwestern, if you are a high school or an adult school student, whether you are in an articulated class, in a dual enrollment class, or in a concurrent class, you do not pay fees. So we have made that available for our high school and adult school students, so that's important. Our articulation agreements also do not require an examination. So your grade is your grade, and that is articulated over whether it's an A or a B or a pass. Let's see if there's anything else. Each one of our Sweetwater campuses have peer ambassadors from Southwestern College, which helps with that enrollment process, which is a challenge, I'm sure, for many high school and adult school process to enroll in their community college, which is required to get that articulated credit. And much like Eric shared, we're doing a lot of outreach events, now virtual, but ensuring that our high school and adult school students know their opportunities at Southwestern.
Thank you.
And Eric,
So, yeah.
I was gonna say we have a couple questions.
Yeah, let's go. That was the end of our presentation. So I was hoping there would be some questions. I will stop sharing so
Great.
that we can answer those.
Perfect. I'll start with one, and just FYI, everyone, when the links that Elena referenced, they're in the PowerPoint, but I did put them in the chat, in the WOVA chat as well. all three links separately. So if you're looking for those, you could click on those in the chat or download the PowerPoint by scrolling all the way down on the agenda. One question we had from Laura: do articulated courses in progress, that's courses in progress in senior year, go onto UC CSU applications in the college coursework area? Students are on CAPMA and will receive credit.
So I'll tackle this if anybody wants, because I've just had some fun experiences. I've had some conversations with both the UC President's Office as well as the CSU Chancellor's Office. And I think everyone here would probably agree too that first, if a student's in an articulated class for a senior year, they should not put that under college courses taken on their application, because we don't know if they're going to earn the credit or not. So if they list that as a class that they're taking and they end up not getting the credit, that could put any acceptance in jeopardy. Also, I'll let my colleagues speak to this part. I know for us, it takes some time to transcript all the credit. I don't know if our high school partners realize the amount of time that goes into the transcripting process. So for us at Miracosta, we start transcripting the grades. We have to pull those grades from CAPMA, create like hundreds of spreadsheets to then enroll the students in our Miracosta student record system and put those grades there for every single class. And so that takes a couple of months. We may not have those grades there until August or September or later. I know everybody's timeline and process is a little different. So when you think that a four-year institution wants those transcripts usually by July 15th, those senior year grades are likely not going to be on there. And the other thing that I'll share, I know this wasn't part of the question, but I'll share this from my conversations with both systems of UCs and CSUs, is that you want to make sure that the students that have earned college credit through articulation, freshman through junior year, that they are not entering both classes on their applications. So if they earned college credit, they do not enter your class, your high school class under their courses taken. They only enter the college course and grade that they received from us, because otherwise they're double counting the A through G requirements. The caveat there, because there can be no simple answer to any of this, is that keep in mind, with the exception of last year, a P is not going to count in terms of a high school student earning a P grade, earning a passing grade, P grade for transfer. Like they won't even see that as an option for grades when they're inputting their courses. But they will be able to enter their A, Bs, or I know in some cases Cs for some of the schools that transcript a C. They also get a GPA boost for it being a college course. So if they earned a B, they're going to get that GPA boost of it counting towards an A. Again, that's probably more information than what you wanted and what you asked. And I'll let anybody else chime in if they want to add to that or say anything different.
If I can, I would like to add and open another can of worms. We also got a lot of responses from students and their parents actually about the fact that a lot of times high school not offering any CTE courses or articulated courses until the senior year. So with everything that Amy said, it would be ideal if those CTE courses taken in freshman or junior year at the high school, so they have all those credits and grades available already. So with that, we would like counselors to be on board with that and introduce possibilities for articulated and CTE courses in the earlier years of the high school. And yes, about the P grade, that was actually the reason why Palomar moved to district articulation with credit by exam, because we would like to make sure that the credit they earn actually can be transferred to the four-year schools and UC schools. Thank you.
Also, if I may add, we just had a question about that very thing. Does my child need to put the credit for the articulated class he took in sophomore or freshman year on his application for CSU? And what I articulated, what I said to them was, he needs to get his transcript from our school. Until it is transcripted, as Amy said, it doesn't make any difference. And they need the official college transcript in order to have that go to the CSU.
Great. And Laura said they only let their A and B students consider this. Thank you, Amy. This is exactly information we needed. Thank you, Elena and Kate as well, as she said. So seems like the combination, the team response was perfect. There's another question. And as I read this question, if you're online and you have any other additional questions, please feel free to throw it into type it into the Q&A or the chat section. I'll be monitoring it. So just put in the Q&A section or the chat on the right-hand side. The other question is, are there ed plans for college roadmaps that can be provided for high school dual enrollment students that show them which classes are required for their degree, as well as which electives are options for their degrees? I can read it one more really quick time. Are there ed plans for college roadmaps that can be provided for high school dual enrollment students that show them which classes are required for their degree, as well as which electives are options for their degrees?
If I can start this one. As I mentioned during my slide, we have guided pathways and we have active mapper, and ed plans are part of this movement as well. So for either dual enrollment or articulation or any other reasons, high schools and students supposed to follow the mapper and consult the counselor at the college and use the ed map to continue, because we're listing everything that's required that could be elective, and we're also using stackable certificates where it can show you the levels of certification that you can get with the ed plan. Thank you.
Is Monica still with us, Monica Rosas? Because the conference that we're currently in has some guides and compilations of all of the courses and all of the pathways that are offered at the various colleges that you can get a copy of, but I'm not sure exactly how you go about getting those. You can contact our different colleges and request one of them, and we can do our best to make sure you get that information.
I'm here, Kate. You're saying, sorry to interrupt. You mean like the documents that you send, the handouts, the brochures for your colleges?
Not just that, but also the guided pathways big conference book that you had.
Oh, the career ed guide?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you guys go as you see your screen on the left-hand side, you see main navigation. When you go down to resources and you click on documents, that's where you'll find the career ed guide. And then you'll also find, we came out with, thanks to our centers of excellence, with priority sector handouts. So everything's in the document section under resources on the left-hand side.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else wanted to have anything else to add to that question that was asked?
Well, I think, I don't know if they're asking about like the specific classes that would be available. I mean, there's even if we have the same certificate or degree, like from one college to the next, our classes that are required may differ. So I think that it might be best if you have, if you're thinking of a specific pathway, like if you're offering, dual enrollment within a specific pathway at your high school, probably the best thing is to work with that college specifically and see, what if they, I know we all have been working on mapping and guided pathways, but it's because there's going to be variances in the classes and the programs. It's probably best for that question to work with your direct contact. And if you don't know who that would be, then I'm sure if you email any one of us, we can help you get in contact with that person. I know all of our contact information is presented. Or Monica can also help. I'm gonna just keep throwing Monica out there because she works with all of us.
Well, and I think I'll just also add that as you have to enroll in your local community college, as each student needs to do that, they now have access to a counselor who will provide them with an individual education plan. So for those of you who are high school and adult school counselors, I would highly, highly encourage you not only to get your students enrolled in those articulated classes, but also to access the variety of resources. Counseling is only one. And I think it was Amy that earlier said, once you're a community college student through this articulation agreement, you have access to career services, to health services often, to, in addition to counseling and lots of other services that the college has. You are a community college student at that point. So just remember that their community college counseling office will put together an ed plan for that individual student.
Also, a resource that's very good for finding the various courses required for a pathway are our college catalogs that are all online. You can go there and find out which electives are available and which degrees and certificates are available, and it's all online.
And Monica shared the link in the chat. Everyone, it says, here's the link to our website as well as the career ed guide. And the link is in the WOVA chat. We have 4 more minutes left. Want to be respectful or mindful of time. If there's any other questions, feel free to put it into the Q&A or the chat section.
I just want to add something that I think we might have skipped over. It's very important that your students complete a college application before they petition for articulation credit or credit by exam. So oftentimes we've encountered students contacting us requesting their credit, but they have failed to complete the college application or the petition form. So we ask that you encourage them to complete step 1 first, and our colleges, outreach departments, or other departments are happy to assist and walk your student through the process. We understand that it can be very overwhelming. It's a 2-step process, but we're here to assist. So, you have our contact information. We're happy to walk your student through the appropriate steps virtually or over the phone or via email, whatever works for you and your student. We're here to assist you and hold their hand through the entire process to ensure that they're successful.
And for students who are tech savvy, most of the colleges have a video on their website that you can go to that will walk you through step by step.
Excellent. I don't see any more. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay.
I do have one other thing to say, and is that the verbiage about articulation and CTE transition is changing somewhat. Our high school partners have asked that we call it early college credit because that makes more sense to people. And I think we are transitioning to that, but that is a transition and we are in process. But that kind of sums up what we're trying to provide through articulation and credit by exam. Thank you.
Awesome. Any other chiming in? We have 1 more minute left. And if there's any final questions, please put it in. Otherwise, I'll give it maybe another 15 seconds and do some closing out housekeeping. People are responding. Thank you. Thank you. Very helpful. All righty. Well, with that, it's 12:59. As we close out, I'll just mention there's no other comments or questions thus far. But as we close out, I'll say one, thank you so much to our panelists. This was very insightful. I learned a lot as well listening to you all speak. The other thing for our participants, please rate the session. Please rate the session, the rating session. It's in the bottom right below in the WUVA app again. And you'll see next to it, it says agenda like session. Just click on the rate session and it'll be a quick rating to help inform the for future sessions. So please take a moment to rate the session. And then finally, this wouldn't be a conference without doing it. If you all don't mind putting on your video for 2 seconds, this is part of my facilitating role. If you don't mind doing it, put on your video for 2 seconds to do a screenshot. Since we can't do it live, we can't do kind of like a live selfie. We'll do a quick screenshot, screen grab to stay consistent with 2020. I'll do it a screenshot. I'll give it a second to give it a, thank you all for joining. And 1 second, I'll do a screenshot. Thank you all for putting on your cameras. I know some folks are probably in pajamas. They're like, I'm not putting on my screen. Oh, look at this, everyone popping up. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. All righty. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Again, to our presenters, thank you so much. And again, you all, if you scroll down, the PowerPoint presentations are below. So thank you, and then you'll receive your information afterwards. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Manny.
Take care. Thank you.